Hi, welcome back to the channel. It's Ian from Peniglen Cabin Life. Good morning to everybody who's just tuning into the channel. The time is 5:15 AM. So good morning, like I say, to everybody. Today's video, I wanted to talk about why do we still have a throwaway society. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video, I've got a friend that rung me up the other day and he was nattering away to me. And he was talking about this coffee machine he had, and he is a bit of a technology person, and he decided he would take it apart to fix it. So as he got to try and dismantle it, he found that it was actually a complete sealed unit, where the only way you could get into it to fix it is by breaking it. Hence a throwaway society. Now, it's other things as well, like when I was younger, I always talk about the old days, but when I was younger, every town centre, every local village, they all had a TV repairman. Now my Uncle Harold used to be a TV repairman. He was a big CB man in his day, and he used to fix everything electrical. And I always remember when we used to go to, when I used to go to Bolton when I was younger, there were little TV rental places all around the town centre that did TV repairs, video recorder repairs, hi-fi repairs, everything like that. It's like now, if you think about it, when you have a TV and your TV that you've had for years breaks, what's the first thing 9 times out of 10 you do? You'll say, oh well, I'll take this tip, get rid of it. We've got a bit of savings, so we'll treat ourselves to a new telly. Now back in the old days, you couldn't afford a new TV. Once your telly broke, that were it. You had to either do without a TV or you had to save up to get it fixed. You couldn't afford a new TV. You know, and back in the old days, my Uncle Harold, he used to, when he had the TV repair shop, he'd have hundreds of TVs in at any one time for people wanting to do repairs. But back in the old days as well, in your area where you used to live, there was always a Hoover repairman. That's going back. See if you remember that Hoover repairman. And what he used to do, he used to come and he used to service your Hoovers. And everybody used to have the Hoover serviced every 12 months. And when it broke the Hoover, because back then there were the bag Hoovers, weren't there, the cylinder ones, and he used to come and dismantle it, fix it, put a new Hoover belt on it, you know, and he used to, if the motor had gone, he would put a new motor in it with parts. You don't get that now. If your Hoover breaks, you take it to the tip and go to Argos and buy a new one, don't you? But it's right, that, isn't it? I'll tell you another reusable product that we never use now, very rarely, and I'm surprised we still don't do it. Back in the old days, I spoke about this before, if you wanted to buy a bottle of pop, it was always in a glass bottle. Do you remember the old bottles of bar pop? And you used to have like a 5p or a 10p return cap on the top. You know, you went back to the shop with that bottle and they used to give you 5p back, or they'll give you 10p back. You know, all that's gone. You very rarely see them bottles now. And I think because we've got so much problems with plastic and recycling it, and the fact it's just been going to landfill and dumping, and it's hundreds of years before it breaks down, plus we've got, like I say now, plastics, fibres in the water, in the ocean, and every drink of water we have, there's plastic fibres in it. It's a frightening world. But why can't we bring back those bottles, glass bottles? You know? It's like the milkman. The milkman always used to bring us bottles of milk to our door in the morning in glass bottles. A lot of them now are in plastic bottles. You very rarely get a milkman delivers your milk in glass bottles anymore. Again, throwaway society. I'll tell you something else I found out recently. That back in the old days when microwave ovens came out, you had to actually have a license for them, because they use radiation to cook. Now, because they never enforced it and people didn't realise you had to have a licence, they actually did away with it. But it was actually a rule when they first came out that you had to have a license to have a microwave oven, and I never knew that. It was my brother who was telling me that. So let's have a lighter note and a lighter discussion now. So I know that people have been buying pups through this pandemic. I know I've had my couple of litters through the year. Now, my litters were born in between the pandemic. Now, I was unfortunate that when my bitch came into season, my first bitch for the year, she actually got covered by my stud dog about 4 days before the actual government said that there was an issue with the pandemic, and then they got released just near the back end of the first phase, I should say, the pandemic. And then it levelled off, if you remember, and there were no deaths hardly, and we all thought, oh, we're going to be fine here. So my second bitch came in season, I covered her, and then the spike started coming slowly back up again, and then they went to the new homes. Some people were scamming, which I don't agree with. If fair enough you have a litter and you're not going to scam, that's fine. But if you're going to scam people and charge a fortune and double the price of your puppies, well, that's wrong. That is so wrong. I don't believe in that at all. Whenever I've had a litter, the price for my puppies have been the same now for about 3 years, and they never went up. And through the pandemic, when people were ripping people off with litters and puppies, and I tell you now, my price never went up. It was a set price, and that's what it's always been. I do most of the DNA testing, I do the hips, the elbows and the eyes, I do all that. Now I very rarely market my kennel, which is Peniglen Labradors, and I very rarely market that on my channel. Now I'm not going to be having another litter, because I've said before I only have 2 litters a year, so I won't be having another litter till middle of next year. So, but it's very upsetting to see on the news where people have been charging £2,000 and £3,000 for a Labrador puppy. It's ridiculous. It's not right. And what annoys me is the Kennel Club are always going, oh well, we're all for people who have dogs, and we support health testing, and we this and we that, you know. But they don't say, well, those breeders that are selling the pups for £2,000-3,000, we're not going to register their puppies. Well, why aren't they saying that? Why aren't the Kennel Club saying that? You know, but they're too eager, the Kennel Club, to say, oh well, you know, we're going this way now, and we're doing this now, and we're promoting this and we're promoting that. They seem to forget all the things that they were doing wrong in the past. You know? It's like all these crossbreeds are starting to register now, all these crossbreeds, saying that they're now a new breed. The only reason they are registering these breeds, now those who's been in the dog game a lot of years like me, we've seen how it's changed over the years. And I'll tell you truthfully, hand on heart, right now, why the Kennel Club are now registering all these crossbreeds as new breeds. Because, go back 5 years ago, with a bitch, you could have 6 litters out of a bitch. Now I've only ever had 4. But you could have 6 litters out of a bitch, right? The Kennel Club changed its rule that you could only have 4 litters out of a bitch within the lifespan of the bitch, going up to 8 years of age. I agree with that 100%. Right? I want to say that because I do. But because they reduced it from 6 to 4, then every single year, within reason, some of these kennels aren't producing 2 extra litters, which is loss of revenue for the Kennel Club. Now, because they're losing a lot of money on litter registration, which they will be, they have to find a way of clawing that back. So their way of clawing it back is if we start saying that we'll accept these new breeds and we'll start registering the puppies by them, that'll claw us the money back. So the Kennel Club always say, oh well, we're here to promote health and we're here to that. They're not. The Kennel Club is literally a business, and it's run as a business. But the word in it that they're there to protect the society, and they're not. They're not at all, and always remember that. I'm going to get off. I've had a good natter and a good rant and a good tangent. I always start nattering away about something and then there'll be a trigger word and boom, I'm off in another direction and then I come back. So just so you know, I have been on a tangent. Are you ready? Throwaway society. So yeah, so I'm going to get off now. I've had a good natter with you and I'll speak to you again tomorrow. You take care, look after yourselves, and I'll see you again next time down at the cabin.